Hey everyone. So this is my commentary for the second map in my community map series called the Cosmos Bridge. Why is the campaign called the Cosmos Bridge? It's called it because of this map. I originally called the maps Cargo because of the amount of cargo canisters I had around, and Chet told me that that was not okay. Well, I could have called it anything. Like he suggested that I could come up with something a bit more imaginative. So I decided to go with kind of a. It's actually a homage to the name is actually a homage to the Twilight Zone, which is terror at 20,000 feet. I call it the Cosmos Bridge because here we are on a bridge underneath, over the top of the cosmos. Pretty obvious, but yeah, the subtitle was Terror at 200,000 feet. So originally, what I was going to do with this map was I wanted to have an area of gameplay or even an entire map with the galaxy on show. Right. So there's a really nice skybox with this game. I thought it was a Galaxy Skybox, which I thought was great. So I really, I was thinking like a big, long corridor with a big glass side to it, or something like that. So you're sort of playing against the cosmos the whole time. And then I kind of got the idea. Well, wouldn't it be fun if the cosmos was underneath you and you were kind of on a bridge running across the top of it? So I thought, well, if I put it at the bottom of the ship, we could have this sort of glass bottom to the ship. And I didn't have any models or anything to do the glass bottom of the ship piece. I was going to deal with that later. So I thought, well, I'll build the level and then I'll add in the glass kind of thing, canopy underneath it, when I've made it later on. And then I was playing, and as I was playing, I sort of got this. And this map, the lighting's really screwed up on this version at the moment, but so you'll see dark and very bright spots. But when I was playing, then I could realize I could pulse aliens off the edge, down off, and sort of, and so it didn't seem much fun that I'd pulse them off the edge and they'd hit a glass sort of floor underneath. So I ditched that and just decided to have it so that you can use your pulse as a weapon. It's one of these things that happens when you're playtesting and you sort of develop things over time. You realise that actually that's quite fun. I can use my pulse now as almost like a weapon, especially when it comes to dealing with sort of huge groups of aliens or eggs they have in this, which are kind of really dangerous and things. So it's just quite added a different way to play basically, which I quite liked. And then I was playing this and I was building this out, and it kind of had the thing. The other thing to note about I'm still using the same model set that you see below, these kind of shiny chrome panels and walls. What I didn't realise though was that these shiny panel walls and floors and things aren't actually part of the proper asset set that they built the Anacrusis with. These are the Anacrusis kind of dev environment was full of placeholder assets, which came from the Unreal store, which are sort of free assets and things like that, which you can download and use. And that's what these were. And unfortunately, the main set of assets I chose to use, as I said, this is very dark. Look, this isn't lit properly at all. The main set of assets I used were not optimized for proper professional game development at all. They were really very shoddy indeed. And so I believe the team at Straight Bombay very kindly took them and sort of tidied up the actual model set and assets to make them more the performance better, basically, because they just weren't fit for purpose. But I mean, in future they're not going to really have that opportunity to do that with other community content. So hopefully there's a lesson there to be learned somewhere in there. But it's very nice of them to do it at this point. There is hopefully going to be another lighting pass on this. It's very dark and very light at the moment, but we're still working on it. We've got some issues with the map. But this is a holdout area which I added quite late. The map itself, I got some feedback from the team basically saying, it's great, but unfortunately, we're just not spending enough time in this environment. So adding a holdout area was a good way of doing it. While I was doing it, because of the unique way, the neat sort of design of the situation where you're slung underneath the ship, I was able to add these kind of alien delivery devices you can see here, which basically, when you have a special event, you can put in these special spawning objects which sit up the top of these tube and basically just pump out aliens. And because they can't be seen, they are yeah, looks like we're going to die as a team. We'll start again in a minute. But unless Nessa's going to help. Come on, Nessa. The we lost Lance along the way there somewhere. So yeah, basically though I was able to sort of add these chutes, and it doesn't go anywhere, nothing, but it's as if they're coming out of the ship and sort of being dumped on you. And surprisingly, the director of the automated sort of AI that runs the game really liked it and just started pumping out tons of aliens. So these events tend to get quite a lot of aliens getting pumped out, which is great. So moving on, but I like the idea that you've kind of got a linear path. It's not a lot. I did have it at one point where you can go left and right, and then I started cutting it down, sort of just pushing you one way around, and then adding more rooms with side areas, and the game really thrives off having these side areas available to just spawn power-ups and things like that as much as you want. And yeah, and basically as I just kept on playing with it, and then really I had a concept. I was trying to do sort of as many interesting things. Obviously, I'm bound to a narrow state here, right? Obviously, I'm slung underneath the ship. I can't go wild and sort of go for a very sort of broad level. So you have to kind of stick to this fairly narrow kind of setup. I could have gone wider, I suppose, but I quite like that. How much more, how much interesting sort of setups and stuff can I get out of this, where I'm dropping down onto areas or coming up, and so here's some eggs, so you can see these get spawned randomly throughout the level or wherever the director thinks is a good idea. But yeah, with these you can kind of pulse them off the edge where you can find barriers that are missing. You've got the opportunity to try and take advantage of the geography. Pretty straightforward, and then I basically just kept adding more sections until I felt it was long enough. Sort of sticking to that Left 4 Dead co-op shooter, kind of feel, where essentially you're going narrow like this. You're coming into narrow corridors, and then you're broadening out with a few optional paths in, just to basically make sure that you are. Just to sort of bottleneck every now and again, give the director some opportunities to create some challenging gameplay. So this area was really, once again, just trying to make things a little elongated. It's a little contrived, going round and round, and with some bright colours, trying to just brighten up the level a bit, just because it was a little one tone prior to this point. But also, it's once again another situation where you can end up down and back at the bottom again, and you have to fight your way back up if the director chooses to make this a particular challenge. That's interesting. The sound effect for the grabber when he's about to grab you pays no attention to the game volume whatsoever. I've got the game volume right the way down, but I can still hear whenever a grabber turns up. It was that whooshing sound you heard. And then once again returning to this corridor effect, where we've got these running lights sort of egging you onto the finale, and seeing once again what the director wants to do with this, whether it really wants to punish you or make it a little more challenging. Trying to put in side corridors as much as possible. Obviously that's difficult to do when you're hanging on the bottom of the ship, but it's always good to just add a bit more complexity to maps. This one's relatively simple, but there's lots of people, I don't know, I suspect this will become a kind of a love it or hate it thing, where some people, obviously you've got the ability to pulse enemies off the ship, but also the brute, the big tank type thing, has very much the ability to throw you off the ship, and I've seen that happen quite a lot. So I suspect it will be a polarizing design choice as to whether people actually like this or not. That was it. 9 minutes 23. Pretty straightforward compared to the last one. Not as busy, but as you can see, we've got a slow door here, and now it's really throwing stuff at us, but we don't care because we're safe inside. Thanks for listening.